Thanks for joining us. You were disappointed about going out of the Cup, of course, but you were full of positives, or you saw plenty of positives in the game. Now you've reassessed it and watched it back, do you still feel the same?
Yeah, absolutely. Really pleased with some of the younger players. You say how they conducted themselves the other day. I thought the game plan for the majority of the game, you could see it. But loads of pleasing things with it. They say the annoying things are the goals, which goals are always avoidable, but when you go away to a heavy Stockport team and they cut you open and they play some really good football and they score a goal, you can sort of accept it. It's when the things that you work on day in, day out, stopping crosses, marking in the box, affect the game. But so many positives, and it'll give the players that are in and around the team some confidence and obviously some valuable minutes.
You talked about the players and you made lots of changes, but you also had a look at a different formation for an hour, didn't you? What were your views on that?
Yeah, because I've said it's something we're going to have to do come Saturday with how they play. It's an option to match them up with that formation, so it's something we wanted to look at. Yes, the personnel will be slightly different come Saturday, but it's still something we're working on because we're going to have to go to it at some point.
It's a problem that managers want, good performances, players with confidence. But how do you manage that? Because you had two great results in the League Two, great performances as well. Now you've got players pushing. How do you keep everyone just bubbling at the right level?
Well, they've all got to be pushing in the same direction, and the messages to the lads who've been playing at the minute. There might be a couple of changes Saturday, but you've got to keep your shirt. Then it's down to how they perform. I want to try and be a little bit more consistent in terms of what we're playing and who we're playing. But the players that aren't quite in the team at the minute know the challenge. We've set a high bar, and we want that to continue. They've got to train properly. They've got to give all the support to the players that are playing, because we'll be picking up on stuff like that this year. If they think they should be in the team, but they're not hitting the numbers we want them to in training, there's no hiding place anymore in terms of you can get their data and the intensity of how they've trained. There'll be things we're looking at, and if that continues on the trend it is, where they're all training well with the intensity, they'll grab that opportunity when it comes.
Before a ball is kicked, managers always play down the importance of a good start naturally, and it doesn't define a season. You've had a great start. I know it's only the start of the start, but how much of a difference does that make just to the feeling in the camp?
Yeah, obviously the back end of last year as well. It's good to get this start, but it is only 2 games in. You know, Scott won't be worrying too much about the start he's had. We're only 2 games in. We've played for 6 points, haven't we? So there's a lot of points in a lot of games where things will change throughout the season. We've just got to try and stay as consistent as we can. That was a big downfall last year, the consistency. The last 20 games that we weren't able to maintain. But that's gone. I don't want to keep going on about last year. It's a new group, a different way of playing. But we've got to manage expectations as well within the group. When we do get a knock, it's about how we respond and how we're able to galvanise and move forward. But it's so early. Teams changing formations already, so after one game, the team changed formation after playing before the season started and in their last game that they played. So lots of little changes from teams to come yet before everybody really finds their feet.
You just mentioned it, Crawley have had a slow start. They're joint bottom, you're top of the league at the moment. I know it's very, very early, but I mean, from your point of view, I know you're going to say that it doesn't matter, but it's an opportunity to be ruthless, isn't it? And to capitalise on any little advantage you might have, even if that's just confidence. It's
an opportunity to get better again. That's what it is, because Scott's not going to alter away from what he does with his teams. It's one of his biggest strengths in terms of the players know exactly what's expected of them in the manner that they want to play. And it's an opportunity for us to get better, to work on the things that we want to work on, to see if we can keep improving or at least maintain the level that we've set in the last 2 games.
It's difficult to assess any team at this time of the season, isn't it? But particularly Crawley, they weren't in the same division last season. They've had a big turnover of players again, and only been a couple of games. But what have you and your staff seen so far in the assessments and the analysis that you've been doing?
That they're a good team, and they'll play in the manner that you think Crawley have been playing in for the last two and a half years, really. It's always difficult for a team that has a big turnover of players, always difficult. We found that as a football club, didn't we, when we got relegated. Again, coming down a division, sometimes it just takes a few games for everything to settle down with them, new players to bed in, really get used to each other and how they play. But I'm sure Crawley will be fine. They'll turn the corner. They've got a good manager, good players. And like I say, it's just an opportunity for us to get better and work on the things we want to.
Back at home on Saturday, you've been full of praise for the fans, home and away. How important is it for you to sort of keep that momentum and that feeling with the supporters? And is it something that you speak to the players about?
I always speak to the players about how good the fans are. I make sure that the fans appreciate the players, win, lose or draw after games. I think it's really important. I don't think, I'd say that, we don't want our players coming off the pitch and the team and the fans thinking we've not put the effort in. And I think as long as we keep on doing that, they'll appreciate that. If we can make the games as exciting as possible and come out on more positive results than not, I think they'll be happy. But they have been brilliant. They say the away support again the other night, they'd have known we'd have been making changes first round of the cup away at Stockport. I know it's not far, but still a really good turnout. But I always say it's up to us and the players to make sure that we're giving them something to be happy about.
Just a couple of weeks left, or just over a couple of weeks left in the transfer window. How things going? I know you love this question, but it's you're still looking for one or two more.
Yeah, we're still looking. I was on the blower with Josh yesterday. One or two things developing for options that we might have. Not getting too excited because they can soon get taken away from you because they're both at clubs. And then there's another area that I'd like to improve if possible. But that one we might have to just wait a little bit with the transfer window being open. You just don't know what will happen to your own team during that time, where you might have to just fill a gap or anything. But yeah, we are looking. One area I really do want to press and then try and get something done. And then in the other area, it's about waiting probably for the right type of player.
I won't ask you about some of the longer term absentees. We know they're continuing in their rehabilitations, but he just brings up state with Matis Holacek and Louis Moult. We've not seen them for a couple of weeks now.
Yeah, no, Multi was involved Saturday. He knows his body. He's got a little bit of tightness, nothing to worry about. We should think he'll be involved Saturday, so it's absolutely fine. Mattis went and saw the surgeon that did the little keyhole operation on him the other day, a couple of weeks ago. So he'll be back with us in a couple of weeks. It was just a check-up. There's a little bit of discomfort from obviously having an operation, but we're hopeful he'll be available again within 2 to 3 weeks.